Going to be looking at the world of music, and indeed live music to come from a French band that drove through the night last night to be with us because of French air traffic control. I'm not going to make any comment about that whatsoever. Yet, are with me in the studio after this from Chris Montez.
The more I see you, the more I want you. La, 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 la.
It's a great piece of music. Chris Montez, The More I See You. Can see quite a lot of a French band that's just come into my studio here on BBC Radio Northampton. Twinfest is back for 2014. It's been going for quite some time, and it celebrates music and live music in particular across not only Northampton, but its twin towns of Poitiers, which I know reasonably well, and Marburg, which I don't. We've got live performance for you. We've also got Kenny Precious from the Snakeman 3, which is one of the Northampton bands taking part in the event. He's also one of the organisers of the event from Northampton. We'll talk to Kenny in a moment or two, but first, Anthony Baril and Lucie Mousset from Poitiers-based band Yet. They drove through the night to be in Northampton in time for this afternoon. By the skin of their teeth, they've made it. They're with us in the studio. Bonjour to both of you. It's a pleasure to have you here this afternoon. We'll talk after a little bit of live music in our studio, live from Poitiers, from Yet.
D'un bout à l'autre de la carte, nos doigts pressent des touches et nos oreilles se collent sur le froid du plastique. Et pourtant, moi je préfère me tourner vers le brouillard, la nuit, la neige, vidéo et ton silence radio. Alors quand Sunset emplit par-delà les kilomètres, c'est tout l'air froid qui s'emplit de ta voix distordue, partout ces câbles distendus, partout autour du globe, entre ma bouche et ton front, entre ta bouche et mon lobe. Alors quand la faible voix ne se fait plus entendre, par-delà les parasites, quand le souffle se fait court et les rires se font rares,
qu'être lu en plein phare,
j'aime mieux rester sourde qu'être lu en plein phare, opérer à cœur ouvert.
radio. Et pourtant moi je préfère ce silence radieux.
Absolutely brilliant. I forgot to turn my mic on. Superb. Thank you very much indeed. That's Yet, based in Poitiers. That's Anthony and Lucie. Guys, take a break for a second or two. Actually, there's going to be a bit of a set change because with the microphones that we've got in the studio, Anthony and Lucie are going to change over now onto different microphones because we'll get a second performance out of them in a second or two. Whilst they're doing that, Kenny Precious has joined me in the studio. Kenny, welcome to the studio. Follow that, as they say, from all the way across La Manche. We've now got Yet live in our studio, and I think that's a first for our studio, certainly in the on the afternoon show. It's the first time we've had live performance. Sounded absolutely superb. You've got to follow that, haven't you?
Well, I think Yet can only follow Yet. I don't think anyone else can follow that. That was brilliant, and that's one of the reasons why we love this festival so much, because you get to hear beautiful music like that.
Tell me about Twinfest. Where did it come from? Why do we have it? What's the ongoing aim of it?
Twinfest began many years ago, back in the mists of time. A chap called John Murray ran the festival for many years on his own, and it now runs as a collective. A number of people get together and we try and make this strange thing happen every year, where we encourage local bands to come and hang out and play gigs with our friends from Poitiers and Marburg in Germany, and that's it. We're doing it to spread the love.
How difficult was it to set the festival up? I appreciate you didn't originate in it. It wasn't initially your baby. You're now one of the organisers as an independent musician in your own right. Mm-hmm. How difficult is it not only to get an event like that, to create sufficient momentum that it continues year after year, but also to bring something perhaps new to audiences in an environment where we've just had the Northampton Music Festival, we've got live music coming up with a live at Delapre. Is it difficult for Twinfest to get itself heard?
Not really. I think there's a big appetite for music in Northampton. It's a very musical town. There are lots of bands here, lots of artists, and I think the more interesting things we can put on, like Twinfest, the more it encourages people to go out and enjoy new music and seek out new stuff. As for getting heard, yeah, it's always difficult. We do it without any funding. We get no public funding. We basically work solely on the love and the help of Northamptonians, people that put Anthony and Lucie up, and other acts that we get. They'll put them in their houses, they'll feed them, and then pubs will allow us to put gigs on and give them drink, and that's kind of how it works. And we do it as a community festival.
And that's exactly it. It is that community thing across the three towns, three separate countries. Sure. That's got to be great for strengthening international ties. Have you been out to Marburg and Poitiers yourself?
Yes, my band have been out there, and I've been out there as well as part of the organisation team, and it's very much a similar thing in those two towns. It's such a fantastic experience, and certainly for the musicians that come over and experience the festival in Poitiers and the festival in Marburg, they do the same thing. So it's a great experience, and any of the young bands that get to play at Twinfest, they always have the opportunity at some point then to go forward and play in Poitiers.
Which of the three venues which of the three towns is best to play in? Which one gets the best reaction?
They're equally as well attended, and it'd be difficult to say. I think personally, my experience in Poitiers as a musician was probably the best.
It's a wonderful town. It's a lovely town.
It's a wonderful town, but the festival itself there is much bigger. It's a huge arts festival that takes over the whole city. But in Marburg, I think it's you feel more community there. You feel like brothers and sisters a bit more, perhaps in Germany than you do in Poitiers, because it's a slightly different kettle of fish.
Very quickly, tell me about Snakeman 3.
Snakeman 3, local band. We play all over the country. We're a garage band, and we just played at the local Northampton Music Festival on the main stage, which was great.
Good reception.
Well attended, yeah, very good reception.
So, tick in the box for Northampton Music Festival.
Yeah, new album out. We're Better Than You, it's called.
No. We're better than you.
That's right.
How important is it to perhaps stay separate from Northampton Music Festival? Or can you see Northampton Music Festival and Twinfest actually merging to give one bigger event? How important is it to keep that separate identity?
I think Northampton Music Festival is a privately funded and publicly funded big event, showpiece festival for the town, looking at big headline acts. Okay, there's the encouragement to get local musicians involved as well. And certainly this year, it has done that. As to whether they would even be interested in hosting acts from Germany and Poitiers, I don't know. I think for us, we're run as a unit, as a community festival, and that's kind of how we like to keep it. We don't want to get too, in inverted commas, big for our boots. It works as it is, and we just hope more people come out this year and see why it works.
Kenny, I'll talk to you about dates and locations in a moment or two, but it would be completely remiss if I didn't say hello and talk to our international guests who are here this afternoon. Anthony and Lucie, that was superb. I loved the sound of that. You were really getting into that, Anthony. Towards the back end of that, the lips were curling, the nose was curling. You were really in there in the moment. This was a man who was really enjoying his music. How long have you been playing as yet?
Since 2011.
Yeah.
So quite some time in that case.
Well,
yes,
we began
nearly-
to... Yeah.
Nearly 4 years.
What's the kind of reaction that you get to live music in Poitiers as distinct from Marburg or Northampton, if you've played those two venues as well?
We have actually. Actually, it's the people who come to see us are very curious about what's different, about what's coming from abroad. So they're really looking forward and to our music and listening carefully. That was what's the most important in these two different festivals.
Kenny's already said that the Poitiers end of Twinfest is a massive, great event. This is a smaller one, I suppose, for Northamptonshire. Lucie, does it matter where you play live music, or will you play anywhere as yet?
I think I could play anywhere because at first we played together because it worked really well. I think we could only rehearse at home and it could be enough for happiness. I mean, it's a cherry on a cake that we can play so much and let this work existing through frontiers and in front of a lot of different publics. We're really happy of that.
There's a big scene for live music in France. The French love live music. It goes with the cafe culture, which is what we would call it over here. Are there plenty of opportunities for you as a live band to play to live audiences? Because there's quite an active pub scene with pubs and clubs here in Northampton, which seems to be on the increase. There seems to be more people taking an interest in live music. Do you find that in Poitiers as well?
I think there is a lot of choices, a lot of different places and spaces as well. The very small things and biggest, and sometimes the best gig is not the biggest one. Sometimes it's warmness from the public which create the beauty of the gig, and not the big thing.
So for you as an artist, then it's intimacy that really matters.
I think so. Intimacy or exchange, quality of exchange.
Now, we're going to have the Glastonbury Festival coming up this weekend. It's massive. There are hundreds of thousands of people all camping at Worthy Farm. There's all kinds of musical styles as well. Would you like to go and play a festival that is that big, or would you rather play something smaller with smaller and a more intimate crowd?
Well, we have to... it's a secret.
Both.
It's a kind of secret, but in France, so we can tell it here in England. I think we have a really big gig in September. We're going to play in front of quite thousands of persons. I think it's the first time for us, and I'm happy of this, not because it's huge, but because it's a new exercise and a new way to give it.
So something new.
Something new is.
But actually, having both intimate gigs and bigger gigs are both really exciting, but it's not the same exchange you get. So I think I'll always be in love with really small crowds, even like you're in a really small room on your own with somebody just in front of your nose. It's something very strong. It
All
happened to me already.
Well, in that case, bring it on. It could be It could be Glastonbury Festival next time. Good luck for the big one in September. Tens of thousands of people waiting to hear Yet. We have them here in the studio. It is an intimate little environment that we have here in Studio 1 at BBC Radio Northampton. There is a live audience in the studio of 2. That's Kenny and me, but there's an entire county out there listening on BBC Radio Northampton. Just before we get Anthony and Lucie as Yet to play again, Kenny, Twinfest is coming up very soon. If people want to be part of this, it comes up as of tonight.
Tonight, yes, at the Swan and Helmet pub. We will be treating it as a welcome gig. So if you can come down, you'll get to meet not only Lucie and Anthony from Poitiers, but also another band called the Mexicans, who also drove through the night to be here with us, which is amazing. We shall also have a couple of German bands who will be arriving tonight, and they will be there as well as lots of organisers and their friends as well. So there'll be a whole heap of people coming over new to Northampton.
So they arrive tonight, you put them straight up on stage?
Straight up on stage, yeah.
No chance to get a rest?
No, straight on.
No diva behaviour?
No, absolutely not.
No riders, just hello, get up there.
They're here to play. they're here to perform to Northampton.
Superb. Twinfest will be involving the Swan and Helmet, the Charles Bradlaugh, the NN Cafe Courtyard, the Lamplighter Pub, the Labour Club, the Pomfret Arms. It goes off at 8 o'clock tonight at the Swan and Helmet. Every pub, every venue, I'm sure, has got a listing of everybody who's going to be taking part.
It has. On their Facebook pages, you can see we've got posters in every window of every venue that are being played. It's all online. It's available to find. Just look for Twinfest and you'll find it.
And of course, British bands involved with Twinfest this year as well.
Lots of local acts. We try and get lots of new local acts to come and play as well. It's not the same old cronies every year. Every year we seek new artists to come and play and enjoy the experience.
Paid for gigs, or are they free gigs to come along to?
Some are free. Tonight will be free. You can buy a wristband for £5 that will get you entry to all of the paid gigs on Saturday and Sunday, or you can pay £3 at the paid gigs to get in. But tonight will be free for the Swan and Helmet for the meet and greet.
And if you want to find out more, there is a Facebook page for Twinfest. It's well worth going and having a look at. You get all the detail. There's also the opportunity to get a free daily email, which will give you snippets of audio of the bands who are coming here to the UK to come and play. And I will just stack one more time that Yet, because of French air traffic controllers going out on strike, Yet, due to be here in the UK, just piled themselves into a car, drove through the night last night to get to us here in the UK to be able to play this afternoon. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing that. We will get another song out of Yet in just a few seconds' time here on BBC Radio Northampton.
Northamptonshire Travel. BBC Radio Northampton.
I don't think there's going to be any commentary on French air traffic control this afternoon, but what about roads and travel for Northamptonshire? Barry, what have you got?
Well, John, just looks a little bit busy in Northampton this afternoon on Victoria Gardens. Victoria Promenade up towards Bedford Road looks quite slow going.
Barry, thank you. A dry day with sunny spells, light easterly winds, 20 degrees Celsius, 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius tonight, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Good for a bit of a meet and greet for Twinfest tonight. Let's get Yet to play once more. Anthony, set this one up for us. What song are you going to be doing? And I'm assuming it's going to be in French. Or is it going to be in English?
It's going to be in French, and it's called Loin, which means far away. We've come all the way from France, so this song is for you all. The previous one was for our friend Katie Payton.
Loin, from a long way away to very close to where you are right now, here in Northamptonshire. This is Yet.
Pas assez, je n'en ai pas assez. Loin, il m'en faut un peu trop. Pas assez, je n'en ai pas assez. Loin, un peu trop. Pas assez, je n'en ai pas assez. Loin, il m'en faut un peu trop. Pas assez, je n'en ai pas assez. Loin. me paraît étriqué quand j'en suis loin. J'aimerais tant y être pour te voir disparaître. Ici je voudrais le changer comme il me mange déjà. J'aimerais le garder mais on ne me change pas. J'aimerais être ailleurs pour te voir paraître, mais on ne le garde pas, on l'assimile pas. Comme j'aimerais être ailleurs pour te voir paraître, mais on ne le garde pas, on l'assimile pas. La distance fait tourner, mais on ne me change pas. Comme il doit te manquer, ton ombre vient de là. Je cherche tout de lui, toi là-bas, moi ici. Tu retiens où je fuis, qui te met hors de toi. Comme j'aimerais être ailleurs pour te voir paraître, mais on ne le garde pas, on l'assimile pas. Comme j'aimerais être ailleurs pour te voir paraître, mais on ne le garde pas, on ne l'assimile pas. Je n'en ai pas assez. Loin, il m'en faut un peu trop. Pas assez, je n'en ai pas assez. Loin, un peu trop. Pas assez, je n'en ai pas assez. Loin, il m'en faut un peu trop. Pas assez, je n'en ai pas assez. Loin, un peu trop. Pas assez, je n'en ai pas assez. Loin, il m'en faut un peu trop. Pas assez, je n'en ai pas assez. Loin, un peu trop. Pas assez, je n'en ai pas assez. Loin, il m'en faut un peu trop. Pas assez, je n'en ai pas assez.
Absolutely brilliant, and it's not an easy thing to do, to sit in a dry acoustic like this studio and just do it, particularly when you haven't slept since leaving Poitiers in France to then get here to Northampton to play for BBC Radio Northampton. Guys, thank you very much indeed. That's Anthony and Lucie.
Thank you so much.
And Kenny Precious, thank you for making the journey. Have a great Twinfest for 2014.
Yeah, we sure will do.
Lovely to have you in.
On BBC Radio Northampton, this is John Griff.